As a newcomer, I've been doing a lot of listening to private business people and others. And then I've also been looking at our own analytical work. And I've kind of uncovered, I think, 4 rules for how to be successful in business in Bulgaria. What's interesting about these rules is if you follow those rules, then you actually find that good business isn't really contributing a lot to Bulgaria. So let me share the 4 rules with you and see if they resonate with you. So if you're, say, a foreign company and you're wanting to invest, or even if you're a new and up-and-coming innovative Bulgarian company, what should you do if you want to do well in Bulgaria? The first thing you should do is you should avoid the government as much as possible. So if you want to avoid any sector where the government is a regulator or where the government is a customer, because unfortunately the track record has been one of unpredictability and unreliability. The second thing you want to do is you really want to minimize your need to enter into contracts with anybody. Because if it has to go to the court, if your contract has to be enforced, then there's a good chance you're going to be on the losing side, regardless of the merits of your case. So what you want to do is actually deal with as few Bulgarian companies as possible. You want to be very careful about your property rights. If you have a piece of land that you're building on or whatever, you have to be very careful to make that as secure as possible. The third thing that you need to do is make sure you have a strategy for acquiring the skills you need. So many of the business people we've spoken to, the number one concern for them is the shortage of skills. Can you please ask the government to issue more blue cards? Because really we're facing these shortages. I was talking to a number of mayors as part of a tour around southern Bulgaria last week, and the same issue came up. So if you're going to succeed, you need to have some strategy for how you are going to get the skills you need and how you're going to beat out everybody else in acquiring those skills. And you see businesses actually entering into these very creative partnerships with the universities, or perhaps they go to some part of the country where there's been a long-term unemployment, but a lot of those unemployed happen to be very skilled engineers, perhaps from the communist time or something like that. Depending on what your business is, you'll have a different strategy, but you need to have a strategy. And the fourth thing then is you need to avoid entering a market where there's a strong incumbent, and because those incumbents are going to make your life very miserable, and basically they're going to beat you back and make your life very tough and put you out of business. So those are not my ideas. Those are how I'm kind of summarizing the feedback that I've been getting from the different people that I talk to. It sounds pretty tough, okay? Now the problem then is that if you rule out all of those different areas, if you rule out the part of the economy where you rely on the government as a regulator or as a customer, that's a huge part of the total economy. If you look at those parts of the economy, you want to expand your value chain. You want, as a country, you want to have suppliers supplying into your value chain. You want to be adding value. You want to be selling to other people further up the supply chain so that they'll be adding more value before you export. So you actually want Bulgarian companies to be contracting in increasingly robust and integrated ways with one another. If there are skill shortages, there are skill shortages, and that's a constraint across the whole economy. And then if you have these good businesses avoiding those parts of the economy where there are already strong incumbents, that's another huge sector of the economy. What it means is you're channeling your best companies, your new companies, your innovative companies, your international companies into actually relatively small pockets, oases of the economy where they can flourish. And that is actually bad for Bulgaria.